Hi everyone, Frederick here again. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, washing your hands, and wearing masks. Today I really have a very good topic, at least I really like this one a lot. I wanted to talk about three Nigerian fashion designers that I've had an eye on for a little while now, and I think they're doing some riveting things in the industry, to say the least. But to preface all that, I'm gonna say that Nigerian fashion has come a long way, and it still has a long road ahead of it. It's less fashion and more style, and I say style just to say it's more traditional. It's always been more function than form. With the few people the three I'm going to mention, I think they're just writing a whole new script. Saying they're changing the lens or viewing it from a different angle would also demean what they're doing. What they're doing is actually a strong new value proposition, I would say. It's almost like it's not throwing things out. It's taking the core of what it is to be Nigerian for some and working within those boundaries, but elevating it with luxury techniques, fabrics, and more handcraftedness of the whole thing. While some are showing that, okay, this is not going to look like your traditional outfits at all, and because I'm a Nigerian, in her case, Mowalola, a woman, I'm a Nigerian, it's Nigerian if I make it. And I believe wholeheartedly in what she's saying there, that no matter what it looks like, no matter how it's seen or perceived, as long as you are who you are and you make it, it's of you. So a Nigerian woman making clothes is making Nigerian clothes. Without further ado, my three. I have my trusty book with me. I'm going to start with Mowalola. I found her a couple years ago. I don't want to lie to you, but I would say like 3-4 years ago. It feels like forever since I'd seen like her first couple things online. Maybe this was when she was still in school, maybe. But I appreciated it for what it was. I was like, wow, a Nigerian name. But I never kept up to speed with what she was doing, and she's come such a long way since then. I believe the likes of Solange have worn her clothes, and I believe Drake as well. So she's become more popular. She's on Vogue, she's on all these things, and she's doing fantastically. And the clothes are, I would say, they're spectacular in their own way. I wrote down a couple adjectives I think describe what she's doing, and I did this before even doing more research to find what her visual language is inspired by. I wrote punk. I don't believe punk anymore, so we can scratch that out. Grunge, I believe that wholeheartedly. Sexy, erotic, 80s rave, gender bending. I think the only word, as I said, I would take out would be punk, because if you look at her outfits, you see from the photos, the style of picking her backgrounds, picking the poses for the models themselves, her looking at her page, you see that this is a girl. At first I thought she would be, I could tell this girl probably likes movies, but probably does like good movies and has good taste in movies. I could now see that it's more inspired by music than anything else. From the way she styles the pieces to the pieces she does make, just seems very grunge, underground, like EDM rave party type thingy. I looked up what she was inspired by in one of her interviews. I think it was with Vogue or someone. The three songs she mentioned, this is how I knew she was a kindred spirit. I have all three songs within my Serato. It's Closer by 9 Inch Nails, Smack My B Word Up by The Prodigy, and Night Call by Kavinsky. Three fantastic songs. The Smack My B Up, I believe, was in The Matrix, which, you look at the costume design within The Matrix and you look at her clothes, you can kind of get similar vibes, because The Matrix is more cyberpunk, grungy too. If you remember that party, the rave scene from Zion in, I believe, Matrix Reloaded. That's what her clothes look like, but that's the sound and the vibe of the whole party, lusty, sexy, gender bending thing. And there was a lot of gender bending in The Matrix. If you remember, there's a character, I believe her name was Switch, and the name says it all. So Yes, Mowalola uses a lot of leather. The men and the women wear like, thongs and stuff. It's more, I think the style is more androgynous, and you're going to see it's a similar theme within the three. I'm going to mention the whole androgyny thing. Mowalola actually started with menswear while she was in school, but transitioned into included women's wear. But I love what she's doing. It looks like a fantasy land. And she has a couple things that she said that I'm like, man, I rock with this girl. She's cool. She says, I'm Nigerian, so whatever I create is automatically going to be Nigerian work. More power to you fighting the good fight. Moving on to Orange Culture. Orange Culture is owned by founder and creator Adebayo Oke-Lawal. He's 28. He's been in the industry, I think, the longest out of the three I'm going to discuss. He's been in the industry since about 2011. He's come a very long way, self-taught. He's been sketching since I believe he was about 10. His mom always encouraged him. And with the three of them, that's also another recurring theme of support from their parents, both sides, I believe. So yes, I wrote down a couple words to try to describe what his clothes mean to me. And what I wrote down was flow, cuts, intricate fabrics, luxury vacations. Yes. Out of the three I'm going to discuss, Orange Culture is the most me brand out of all of them. I embody some of the tenets of what he's doing. His fabric choices are always opulent and flowy and very well cut as well. And the way he matches them with the pants, it's surprising that I don't see it on more Nigerian men, but also not, because apparently he's been accused of feminizing Nigerian men, which is odd, their clothes and their pants. Anyway, I guess it's because he uses more, like texturized fabrics with shine to it, something like this, I guess. Which to me is right up my alley, although he does try to pair it in uniform with the pants or something like that. Whereas someone like myself likes to juxtapose, so I would wear this and pair it with, a hat and a pretty plain t-shirt, something like that. So it's not all too much. For me, I don't like my stuff to be too much. So I really like what he's doing there. I've seen a couple Nigerian celebrities wear his stuff, and I think he's being carried abroad. I hope so. If he's not, that needs to be worked on. But for me, I like what he's doing also within the community. He's keeping his clothes Nigerian. They're made in Nigeria. And he's giving back to the community to try to inspire kids to pursue careers in the more artsy field of things, especially with clothing. Because obviously they're good ideas, but they don't have that push or backing that they need. Which to me is regrettable, because I can only imagine what a lot of these kids I see in the alt scene in Nigeria that I discussed in the previous episode, what they would do if they were to transcribe their visions and their thoughts into actual products within our lovely country. So they need to be given a shot. And for his mood board, he said he's always cared more about the touch and feel of the fabrics, very important to him. And obviously that just resonates with me. I like to feel good in my clothes. I like my clothes to feel good on me. And I just like them to look like you gave your outfit some thought. So I really like the dude. I like what he's doing. I hope he's safe and stays safe, because the last thing you want in Nigeria is people coming for you politically for the way they think your clothes affect people. Very, very interesting. I don't agree with that. Moving on to my third and final person, Kenneth Ize. I'm really proud to talk about this guy because his last name seems like an Igbo one. I'm Igbo as well. So that's a brother. Not that everyone's a brother to me, forget about it, but I just obviously feels like another kindred spirit kind of thing. He's 29, he's the son of two Nigerians. They had to, I believe, move to Vienna, Austria when he was about 7. I think his dad was maybe moving for a better life or because of political issues. I don't want to miss the mark there, but they had to move. His fabrics are more traditional, and it's called ashoke, and ashoke is one of these. It's a woven fabric, it's a woven material. It usually has patterns in it. And the only thing I can really compare the Ashoke pattern and feel or vibe to it would be tartans. Tartans out of like Scotland, you know, like the Burberry tartan, or if you buy enough Ralph Lauren, you'd see that every once in a while they mess with this tartan called Black Watch. So like a Black Watch tartan, those are tartans. So it's like a check, somewhat like it, something like that. But it's hand woven by these really talented and mostly obscure artisans. I mean, they're making these things by hand, and it's also one of those arts that we're losing. So I hope to God he saves it, which it seems like he's trying to by looking for investors. But these artisans, it takes them about 2 weeks to produce enough fabric for a jacket. And you can tell from the prices that, yeah, it takes all of 2 weeks to produce the fabric. But sadly, he's not able to assemble the clothes in Nigeria because of one thing he mentioned actually is so true. The emissions in Nigeria, for the most part, they need to work at his atelier in a place called Yaba in Lagos, and they have to use diesel generators to keep the power on because Nigeria doesn't have constant power. He just doesn't think it's a nice thing to make such luxurious goods in an atmosphere where the consumer or the client wouldn't feel like what they bought was made it comfortably by the artisans themselves, the people who worked on it. So it's a complex puzzle he's trying to solve, and he's one of the more economically inclined of the three. He's the most, I should say, not the more. He's the most, because he's looking for investors so he can expand and also teach more people to make this said Ashoke fabric for his garments. But you see traditional Nigerian garments with also traditional tailoring with the jackets and the cutting of the pants. But then his signature fray now is, to me, it's really cool, very Nigerian, and it reminds me of these Hausa traditional clothes that are pretty much, I believe they're woven as well, and it's like a beige with a green and red woven into it, and it's left to fray. So as far as wearability, I don't know if it's something that I would wear immediately, but I'd love to have a piece and experiment with it, because obviously he messes with a lot of pattern mixing, and for me, I like to have maybe just one pattern at a time because it can get really busy for me. But the way he puts it on those models, it's so masterful. The color science of the whole thing is just well thought out. With the fray at the end, just makes it look very relaxed, and I really like relaxed clothes. That's why I'm into Japanese clothing and California inspired outfits too. If I were to think of a piece that I would want to try, it would be his pants, because I could easily pair it with the white shirt in the summer or something like that. So with these three people I've mentioned, I'm really proud of them. I'm really happy to see what they're doing. I hope they're inspiring me, so I hope they're inspiring so many other people, and I'm sure they are, because all three of them are super dope. They're pushing the boundaries, especially within menswear, where it seems like there are just more rules of engagement when it comes to how men dress and wear these clothes. Might not all be for me, but I really appreciate what they're doing, and I appreciate the way these things look on other people. I'm going to move on to to talk about a couple things I've acquired since the last video. I'll just show it a little bit. I'm probably not going to try it all on, but hope you like them, and tell me what you think in the comments. Okay, first piece is a gray wash t-shirt from an English sportswear brand called Buxton. I like this boxy fit, very loose. I'm a broad-shouldered guy, so the amount of chest room works for me. I have large arms too, so I have plenty of room in there, and it's a longer fit than my usual tee, so it looks more relaxed on me. Probably gonna pair these with like my Rick Owens shorts, the black ones and the grayish looking ones, and light sweatpants that I cut into shorts as well. This would be a vibe, vintage look, pretty cool. Second piece is this Kenzo long sleeve sweatshirt. with a Japanese print on it. I believe the Japanese print is called ukiyo-e. It looks like a lady fishing another lady out of the water, if you can see it. Or maybe she's helping her in some way. And there's this like third person right there. I wish I knew what was going on. But it's also a textured fabric. It has this whole little towel thing going on that some brands are doing, like Casablanca, I believe, has a sweatshirt and sweatpants that are like this towel fabric as well. They work with it quite often. So this is cool. Not going to be wearing it anytime soon. Next piece is a jacket by an LA brand called Goons. I got this in the 2XL. It was more of a gamble. I just wanted it to be a little larger. I typically wear an extra large, and it hasn't paid off. This gambit has not paid off. It's too off the shoulder, and the neckline isn't flattering at all. And I really don't like this gold zipper. I wish they stuck to metallic silver hardware or maybe blue hardware as well. This just kind of throws it off from the silver, blue, and then gold. Why? But aside from that, I picked this fabric because it reminds me of Nigeria. The head ties that the women wear to parties called gele. So that was kind of cool. I thought it would be nice to have this. So I got this, but indifferent about it. Not my favorite. Next is this Stussy jacket, made in India. Double XL as well, but this double XL actually paid off. It's actually the right type of oversized I like. I can layer it, but it doesn't look like it's not my size, you know. And they stuck to the silver hardware. And I like this little quilting on the inside. You know, it's really warm jacket, you know, with the flannel. Just looks cozy. I want to wear this with like gray pants that I have. Some either white or cream socks and my jound Club C sneakers and maybe some type of trucker hat. This is a real LA chill kind of vibe I like. Next is this Naked and Famous cropped wide leg pant with the tie in front. It's really cool, really Japanese looking aesthetic, but it's made in Canada, which is pretty surprising. I didn't know Naked and Famous was made in Canada. I thought Japan, but I should have known better, being that they weren't expensive pants at all. My final piece here is a Y-3. I believe it's called the Confile sandal in black. They came out in red as well, and they have a neon orange and a black slide. These look like clouds and feel even better. I didn't want to get some slide. I wanted to get some sandals I could wear during the summer. But it's funny how like I leaned this forward and it kind of reminds me of the Visvim Cristo. But the cool thing is you can actually take this strap off and wear it as a slide anyway. So it's a 2-for-1 special, which is cool. So yeah, and like that you just have a slide. So I really rock with this. This is actually even maybe slightly more comfortable than they actually look. So I rock with this. I hope you guys learned something from me, and I hope I was able to entertain you a little bit, and I can't wait to do the next one. But till then, cheers guys.